Welcome back, everybody. Yeah, so if you know, you know. I'm building something. If you pay attention to my Instagram, you'll know what it is. Stay tuned. Alright, like I said, obviously if you stay tuned to my Instagram or my Twitter or my Facebook page, you can check them all out at, what is it, DWS Dave 31. I think capital DWS and the D on Dave is capital, and then 31. It's real easy to find. But yeah, I try to keep everybody updated on what's going on, but I have a really special thing going on here, and I'm going to show you guys kind of how it's starting right now, and then I'm going to finish this thing, and then I'll tell you how I did it. Alright, so I make things a lot. If you paid attention to my Instagram, that's my new battery charging table. I got to build some stuff to hang underneath there, but otherwise it's pretty durable. Everything's kind of all hung up on it. I'll go over that in a different video. Right now, it's all about these guys right here. So you guys have probably seen my other rod holder video. Well, this is a rod rack for the wall. And yeah, I have to finish it. And when I do, I'll get back to you. You gotta love it when the old kitchen table comes in handy. Can't believe I have this thing still. It's like 8 years old, but makes a great workbench for outside. Yeah, so this is a cross member. I'll go into detail on all the parts. It's a really simple build, and I hope a lot of you guys use this and make it so you can store more rods, especially your bigger ones. Alright, so the last thing you saw was me working on the table outside. One of the things that I wanted to do for you guys is let you guys along. I'll let you in on like some of the stuff I'm building. I know a lot of you guys liked my rod rack video. I kind of want to do a little separate video for my battery box or battery table. Call it a charging station, whatever you want. But a big thing that I want to do here is show you how simple it is to get your big rods up out of the way. Okay, so like I said earlier, you guys seen the rod rack video for this. I have two. I have like an intro video that I just, like when I first got this or moved in here, this is the first thing I built because I needed a place to put some rods. Obviously things have filled out since then, but as you can see behind it, there's a cross member. That's what I was mentioning. And then this. This is what I've needed for a while now, because I have this big rod right here. I believe that's a 7.2 or something like that, maybe even 7 foot even. And then if you guys seen my video on the tuned up customs rod that I just got, that one is like a 7.6. And if you don't know, the reason that rod is sitting there like that is because that is a 6.5 foot rod, and the ceiling is literally only like, I think it's like 6'8" or 6'10" or something like that. I'm in a basement room, so like whoever built this before me here didn't think twice about doing these drop ceilings. Drop ceilings in a basement, bad idea. Okay, so as you can see here, I gotta find my words for a second. Anyways, so this is really simple. This is a 2x4. That cross member is a 2x4. You need 3 8-foot 2x4s in order to get this done. I'm going to get a little bit closer up on how I did that. I'll explain it a little bit to you guys and basically give you some dimensions. Okay, so you guys can see it's on the floor. I made it so it would fit floor to ceiling. And actually I made it so it would, you know, fit just barely to the ceiling. I didn't want it touching this drop ceiling or whatever. These are actually kind of like hovering. So they're not actually, you know, flush to the wall, and that's because this wall is crooked. So I didn't want to try and make it so that like the rods were like falling out. I wanted it flush. So the way I mounted it, as you can see down here, is so those screws for that I put in from the outside, so I had to lay it down in here, which was really fun with no room. As you can see, it's like that on both sides. I actually made it so it would just fit outside of my other rod rack here. So if you have that video or you've made one of these, you can make one of these basically the same thing. Just make it so it sits on the outside on both sides of the thing. And then all I had to do was find 2 studs and put 1 3-inch screw in each stud, and that's plenty of strength to hold a couple of rods up. And I made it so that there was 1 2 3 4 5 spots for big rods. So I don't have enough room for a ton of rods there, but it's better than I was laying them on top of that, and it was getting dangerous, and I don't like that with my nicer rods. So you get, like, what I'm trying to say here is the reason I did it this way specifically, like, I made it so that there's room between them. I made sure that, you know, I had enough room for a couple extra ones. Always plan ahead when you're building stuff like this. But for the dimensions, I actually have it written down. Let me see. It was 80.5 inches tall. I was going to do 6 notches, but because of how high this is, the other notch would have been in line with that. So I didn't want to mess with that too close. So I went with the 5. It's 4.5 feet wide, but it's actually like 53.25 inches or something like that, to fit on the outside of my other rack. And then, the way I measured these notches out, so like you need a skill saw, or what is that? A jigsaw. You need a jigsaw in order to cut these out and to get the radiuses properly cut out. But what I did is, starting at the top here, so like laying flat, I measured 7 inches to the bottom of that, and then 7 inches from the bottom of that to the bottom of that, and so on and so forth. So 21, whatever. So the bottoms are all 7 inches apart, and they're at a 25-degree angle. And I would show you how to do that. I don't have my my speed square right now, but if you use a speed square, you could actually rotate a speed square to get your angles. And then all I did was, what was it? I had to match like 1 inch across or whatever, or 2 inches across, and then I'm kind of rambling how I did this, but from here to the edge of where I circled out the radius here, this back round cut, so like you can see, they're not just straight notches, it's rounded, and I wanted it like that so it wasn't so it was easier to cut out for me. But in order to get that, I used the what was it, a cap off of a butane thing. So like this is Camp Dry, but imagine, so that's a radius. So imagine sticking that there, if that was a little, you know, it's hard to show you guys this way, but like, you know, the outside radius is what I use to get that, and then I just, you know, trace and cut. It's like kindergarten. God, I haven't said that word in a long time. But yeah, that's the gist of it. I mean, realistically, if you had, like, say you had 10-foot ceilings, you could probably put, if you went floor to ceiling, you could probably put 20 rods on a wall, floor to ceiling. And I mean, 20 big rods. We're talking anything, as long as your wall is longer than 10 feet, you could put 20 10-foot rods on there. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted something that I could actually put a big rod on here and not have to worry about anything. I might even be able to stick a fly rod up there. I haven't measured that wall, but it would be really cool because I want to get back into fly fishing, and, you know, now I have a storage spot for it where I can actually keep it out and, you know, make use of it. Okay, so as far as rod racks go, that is the simplest one you can make. Really, it's just a cross member and some uprights. If you wanted to do 2 cross members, say you did that, you know, floor to ceiling, and that was the only one you're going to use, you could put those notches all the way down it. And then what I would do is I would add another one of those cross members, probably, you know, like 2-3 feet down from the ceiling, so that you could screw that into your studs, and then that way it's supported at the top and at the bottom from behind, and you can hang as many rods on it as possible. You could even put like screws on the outside of it, on the ends, like a screw and hook, and then you could hang things on that. There's a million different things you can do with it. That's the reason I build a lot of my own stuff, is because then when you're like, you just want to shove a screw in it and hang something on that, it's not like screwing into your walls or some nice, desk or something like that, and, basically ruining it or having to repair it or make it look nice again. Wood is wood. I mean, you can screw into it, pull it out, put it in a new place. It might look a little unsightly, but you made it, so it's your choice to do whatever you want with it then. Okay, I had one more question, I have a question for everybody. Obviously, if you stuck around this far, I'm very much appreciative if you guys stick to the end of these videos. I hope this video helps you out. If it does, please comment below that you actually use this or my other rod rack video, and let me know if you made your own. This one I'll link at the end of this video so you guys can see how to do that one. I went in detail on like the measurements and everything, so you can build your own, and it's a standalone rack, so like it looks like it's mounted to the floor or the wall, but it's not. You can put it wherever you want. So it's a really nice, cheap way to store. I think that was 36 rods, so that's a lot more than the other one, and it's a standalone, so you can do whatever you want with it. One thing I want you guys to comment below 100% on is if you want me to go into detail on this thing right here. I'll go into detail on it, and I'll talk about why I built it and all the different things if you want a different video on that. Otherwise, yeah, I hope it helps everybody else out, and if you're not new here, you know what's up. But if you are new, please just remember to